Hello and welcome to the RJH YouTube channel. First of all, I must congratulate you, because if you're watching this video, there's a very good chance that it's your first step into looking at getting onto two wheels on the public highway. This particular video is all going to be revolving around the CBT. And we can combine this video with all of our videos on our YouTube channel of the lessons that have taken place and so on. So well done for that. As I say, my name's Robert. I've been riding motorbike. My first introduction to riding motorbikes was in 1972 when I was 7 years old, and I can still remember that day like it was yesterday. I can remember the smell, I can remember the sensation, I can remember the feeling, I can remember the wind and that freedom when you're out and about. And the majority of instructors up and down the country are going to have similar stories to that. And you know, we want to pass on that feeling, pass on that experience that we've got and the knowledge, combining in with that CBT. The CBT is the first step in getting onto two wheels on the public highway. Now, CBT, it stands for compulsory basic training, and that is it, basic training. It is not a test, so it's not a pass or a fail, but you do need to reach a standard to receive your certificate. That's very important to understand. So there are occasions that an individual will be invited to come back for further training, and for many different reasons. So that can happen. As a school, RJH do offer pre-CBT lessons, varying from taster sessions to a pre-CBT lesson, and at the end of those lessons we would then advise you to book your CBT. So we always offer that service, and it is a good service. So if you're looking at getting into biking on your CBT, and you're looking at a school south of England, north of England, up and down the country, always ask if there is a pre-CBT course available, because it can pay dividends. So we'll always ask regarding a pre-CBT course of some form, just to give you a little bit of a head start before your CBT. It can pay dividends, and for us, in our experience, it can increase your likelihood of getting through the CBT smoother, getting your certificate at the end of the day, and a lot less stressful. Just gives you that head start, so always consider that. The CBT, who has to do it? So the answer really is everybody. There is an exception. If you pass your full car test before February the 1st, 2001, you're able to ride a 50cc scooter without L plates, and indeed you could take a passenger on the back of it, not that you want to, but that is the law. But that is the only exception. Everybody else has to complete a CBT. So one of the most common questions, people phone up, they're looking at booking the CBT, I don't have to do one. Yes, you do have to do one, and certainly if you want to ride on the public highway today on a 125 50cc if you're 16, a 125cc if you're 17, then you will need a valid CBT. End of. What you need to bring to your CBT on the day of your CBT is simply yourself, and your driver's license, whether that's a full driving license, car driving license, or a provisional driving license. You need to bring that. We provide everything else. You need to bring your glasses if you need them to read a number plate. So we would require you to read a number plate from 20.5 meters. So if you need glasses to do that, bring them. We have our own policy of asking you to bring in your driver's record, and everybody has a driver's record now. It's held on the DVLA website, so we just ask you to bring that as well, or if you don't bring it, to bring your national insurance number, and we can access it online anyway. But again, check with your local school as to what they require you to bring. So how do you book your CBT? So you contact your chosen bike school, telephone, email, and book over the telephone, or call into the office and book many different ways. RJH, as I mentioned, have a few bike schools in the northwest, and we've taken the process just a little step further, and we have our own exclusive CBT trainer booking calendar. So it's integrated into a homepage. So you land on a homepage, and this process is 3 or 4 step process, very, very simple. So many different ways that you can book your CBT. The cost of your CBTs will vary on which school you choose. As a guide, you can be looking at anywhere between £100 and £170. We've got a few schools in the northwest, and we would charge a standard £150, and that includes everything. So we provide the bike, we provide the helmet, the jackets, the trousers, we provide everything for you. So again, on booking your CBT at your school, make sure that what's included. One thing that we will not provide is sturdy footwear. Some schools do, some schools don't. So again, check with your school as to what is included in the price of your CBT. The CBT can generally be completed in one day. So you arrive in the morning, and when you finish, at the end of the day, you've completed your CBT. So it's a full day minimum, and sometimes, as we've mentioned, you would be invited to come back if you haven't reached a satisfactory standard. So it could take a little bit longer, and that will occur additional costs. Generally speaking, a school will charge an hourly rate afterwards, so always check with your school. If I don't complete it in the first day, what would happen? So we would invite you back, and we would charge you £30 an hour to complete the CBT. So you might need another 2 or 3 hours, but you know, it's all about safety, and you cannot put the price on safety. So if you don't get through the CBT during the first day, don't beat yourself up about it. Listen to your instructor. They really are, you know, thinking of your safety. Once you've got your CBT, once you've completed that CBT, it will last you for 2 years. So it will last you for 2 years from the date that it's been issued. And again, just to remind you, what if I fail my CBT? You do not fail your CBT. Your CBT is safety, and remember, it's not a fail. When you've completed your CBT, you are allowed to ride on the public highway with L plates, front and back, and you're not allowed to carry a passenger, and you're not allowed to go on the motorway, but you're allowed to ride on the public highway. At 16 years old, you can ride a 50cc, no more. At 17 years old, you can ride a 125cc and no more. So if you complete your CBT at 16, when you're 17, your CBT should still be valid because it lasts for 2 years. You're able to ride a 125 for the duration of the CBT. Also, if you complete your CBT on an automatic, you're currently allowed to ride a manual. If you complete your CBT on a manual, you're allowed to ride a automatic. Rightly or wrongly, lots of talk of it changing. But I would always certainly recommend, if you are looking at riding a geared bike on the roads, complete your CBT on a geared bike, because the skills that you're going to gain riding a geared bike, you just don't get it on automatic. So always recommend that. On satisfactorily completing your CBT, you will be issued with a certificate. So you will be issued with what's officially called a DL196, and it's a certificate of completion. You need to keep that safe, so take it home, pop it in a drawer somewhere. You don't need to carry it around with you, and we will send off the copies of the CBT to the DVLA, so there is a record that you have completed your CBT. Now, if you lose your CBT certificate, you can only obtain a copy from the training school that issued it, and there is a charge for that as well. So again, always keep it safe. You will need it if you go on to further training. So if you are deciding to do your module 1 and your module 2 training, you will need that certificate. So I can't stress enough to look after it. So what is involved with your CBT? So the CBT is broken down into 5 elements. So element A, B, C, D and E. And within those elements are various modules. Now the CBT should be completed in order of A, B, C, D and E. In the description box below, I'll put a few links, but if you search through our YouTube channel, you will see most of the CBT modules within those elements completed and filmed. As an example, element A is the introduction, where we talk about the aims of the course. We talk about the safety helmets that you need to wear. We will talk about what clothing you should consider wearing and why. Lots of information, and we have it on our YouTube channel. This information for you is free. This information for you will give you a head start. So look at the videos, comment away. We are very active on the social media, so we will get back to you. But the first part is element A. The second part is element B, where you're going out onto the training yard. You look at your machine you're going to be using, controls, how they work, how they don't work, what you should do with them, what you shouldn't do with them, daily checks, weekly checks, taking the bikes on and off the stands, wheeling the bikes around, bringing the bike to a stop using the front brake. That's all in element B, and we have all of this on our YouTube channel. So you know, watch the videos, ask questions, they're all there for you, so it'll give you a good head start. Element C is when you're getting onto the bike. Lots of exercises there, moving off and stopping, using the brakes, bringing the bike to a stop at a given point, slow speed control, figures of 8 exercises, U-turn exercises, an emergency stop, simulated junctions left and right. So element C is the most important part of a CBT for a new rider, in order to get them comfortable, get the control before then going out onto the roads. Now element D is the pre-road talk, and there are 14 modules, 14 topics of discussion in element D, discussing things like your highway code, discussing things like road surfaces, discussing things like legal requirements, discussing the things like the effects of weather conditions, discussing things like why it's important to get up to speeds. So there's 14 different topics of conversation, and that's then before you go on the road. E is the icing on the cake. It's the final part of the CBT, and this is where you should be riding on the road with your instructor in radio contact for a minimum of 2 hours. And if you're getting your certificate without receiving 2 hours on the road, then you've not had a good CBT. And many schools up and down the country have had problems and been closed down because they have not been completing 2 hours on the road on element E. So you would receive 2 hours on the road, looking at junctions, looking at roundabouts, traffic lights, pedestrian crossings, gradients, bends, and you would also complete the U-turn and emergency stop on the roads. So element E is a really important part of a CBT. All of the CBT exercises are available to watch on our YouTube channel. So watch the videos, watch what's involved, comment away, and we'll get back to you. But the CBT should be an enjoyable experience, and for us, we look at it as your first introduction into the exciting world of motorcycling. So it's important to get it right. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. Give me any comments that you can, give me any feedback that you can, and any questions, ask away, and I will get back to you. If I don't, my team will get back to you. So we'll speak to you later.